Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
Hi!
Today, Betsy, we are rounding out our final finale episode of Western Wednesday.
Rounding them up like cowboys do?
No, that's not what we're doing at all. It's the final one, Betsy, and in true Never Seen It fashion, we played not quite a switcheroo, but... this isn't really a Western.
It's like the last movie where it's technically a Western in that it is set in the Old West.
They're calling it a Western, but in the classical sense, it's not really. This one definitely is not.
No.
We are watching A Million Ways to Die in the West.
See, it has the West in the title. It's a Western.
It's true. This is the send-up of Westerns made by none other than Seth MacFarlane. Now, Betsy, we haven't actually covered a Seth MacFarlane thing yet on the show, and there have been precious few movies that he's actually done and made.
He's
whatever.
only made
a few.
Two?
He made Ted and Ted 2.
And this.
Is that it?
That's it.
I guess. But we've seen Ted. I like Ted. It's okay.
I haven't watched it, admittedly, since I think right after it came out for rent.
Did we see Ted in the theater?
We did.
Yeah.
We've been together a while, Trent.
It's true. We haven't seen Ted 2.
No.
But Betsy, A Million Ways to Die in the West is a send-up of Westerns, as it were.
Yeah.
He put himself in the movie.
Of course,
he's
the
first
star.
This is the first time he's done this, where he's like the dude at the center of the entire thing. He's the star. Other than his more recent thing, his TV show, The Orville.
Correct.
Where he is, I think, the captain on that. It's a send-up of Star Trek.
Something he is good at is sending up other people's products.
It's true. So, I mean, this movie kind of bombed. It didn't do very well at all at the box office. It kind of bombed, like, critically speaking. But, not to say much about Family Guy and American Dad. We did watch those shows back in the day.
Oh, sure. I think we both watched Family Guy in the first run before it got canceled the first time.
And I also watched it a little bit after that because it came back because of DVD sales.
It's still on the air. Yeah. Isn't that insane that we're sitting here talking about it 25 years later?
Family Guy started in 1999 because one of their premiere episodes was their first season episodes was about the millennium, the Y2K bug.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, how times have changed. Remember Y2K?
That was the thing that was going to destroy society.
That was the thing.
Now it's Twitter. No. So, I mean, what do you know about this movie? Neither of us have seen it, by the way.
Yeah, neither of us have watched this movie. So I expect this to have some middle ground between Ted, where it was just absurdist and very hard R-rated movie.
Yeah, it was an excuse to put a cuddly teddy bear,
a foul-mouthed
teddy bear on screen for 2 hours.
So I think it's going to fall somewhere between that humor and Family Guy. Like, it'll go farther than Family Guy, but maybe not as far as Ted.
Yeah.
I also think this is going to be about 20 minutes too long because we looked at the runtime, and once again, this is a comedy that clocks in over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which is never a good sign. Like, I don't know too many comedies that justify that kind of a runtime. If he had made this into a tight 90, we maybe would have a different opinion. But this is
we also don't have an opinion yet.
We have no opinion. I haven't seen it yet. I just assume, based on my experience watching every other comedy in recent memory that's over 2 hours, that you could tighten it.
Yeah. I feel like a comedy like this, all they're doing is putting in all of their jokes and didn't want to cut anything.
Right. So
we've thought of these things. These we think are funny.
And by God, they're going in the movie.
By God, we're going to put them in there because they're never going to let me do a sequel.
Well, and I don't think he directed this, but he did write it.
Yeah, I don't think he
got a lot of creative control. I'm sure he produced it too. The only person I know who is in this off the top of my head, I know there is a female actress, but I am drawing a blank because it's been 8 years since this was in the theater. Okay. So maybe you remember who it is. I do know, however, Liam Neeson is in this movie.
And you've told this story before.
Yes, so the only reason he is in the movie is because on an episode of Family Guy, They made fun of the fact that Liam Neeson isn't good at doing an American accent because he's way too Scottish.
And he's not.
And they had, like, the way they do cutaway gags in that show.
Yeah.
It was a Western, and he's there doing his Scottish accent, but or Irish. He's Irish, excuse me. And he's doing his normal accent in a Western. And when they approached him about making this movie, he literally had heard that this was a thing. He knew this was a joke on Family Guy and said, I'll do it on the condition I get to do it in my voice. Because if anybody can appreciate being in on the joke.
Yeah. I mean, just look at Liam Neeson's filmography over the past 10 years. He knows that this is just ridiculous.
Well, what was it? Was it on one of those Ricky Gervais shows? He had a bit on that.
Yeah.
And he's doing improvisation, but he is making like terrible, horrible, sad references when it's supposed to be funny.
But he's in there trying to say, "Hey, I want to be in comedies."
Yes,
but he's totally deadpan. It's like making a joke about AIDS and like it's horrible, but it's still funny.
Right. So
if anybody can get Seth MacFarlane's humor, it's Liam Neeson.
Absolutely, he's gonna play it completely straight, and it's gonna be funny for it. But other than him, I don't remember who's in this movie. I don't know the plot of this movie other than Seth MacFarlane and Seth MacFarlane nonsense.
I know 2 people, and I don't know what they're doing, why they're in there. It's Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh, God,
that's right.
This. Is he the villain?
Sure. I think he has like one of those really twirly
mustachioed man.
Yeah, he has one of those twirly mustaches. And Charlize Theron.
That's it. I was thinking in the back of my head that it was her, but I was like, that can't be right.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Why is she here? We'll find out, I
guess we'll find out. I mean, again, it's going to be a send-up of Westerns. We haven't seen enough of the genre to really get maybe all of the jokes here, but we know enough.
But I also think...
the cliches, anyway.
I think that Seth MacFarlane is a fan of these properties, which is why he's so effective doing it on things like Family Guy and the entirety of the show, The Orville. Like, he knows the origins, and he is a fan. So he's gonna treat it with love. Like, it's gonna be his version of a Mel Brooks Western, but it's Seth MacFarlane.
I get it. I'm just kind of curious how they're going to put his style of like cutaway humor and, you know, references into a live action thing, because I've only ever seen the Ted movie and Family Guy and a little bit of American Dad, but it's the same shit.
My guess is they aren't, and that's what's going to be jarring because you're not used to seeing this kind of a movie.
I think Seth
MacFarlane... This is all just guessing.
Yeah, and Seth MacFarlane, I think he's the character who is just going to be like pointing at this thing and saying, what the fuck is going on over there? What the fuck is going on over here? Why aren't you guys like freaking out about this? This is fucked up.
He doesn't belong there. He's that guy. He's the everyman.
Yes. Anyway, so let's go and watch A Million Ways to Die in the West. The title's way too long. We will be right back. We're back. Million Ways to Die, Betsy.
They said the name of the movie in this movie.
They did. What'd you think of this one?
I think that this is better than I was expecting it to be. I don't think it's good. I think this is one of those... before I said this was over 2 hours, I was apparently thinking of something else. But this is clocking in just under 2 hours. So it's like an hour 56.
Still.
So I stand by my introductory statement that they dragged some things out, and this easily could have shaved off a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, if this had been a tight 90, or the script had gone through maybe one more revision.
Yeah. Just
one more overhaul before we set it to film, this would have been, I think, really good. As it stands, as it is, it was just okay.
It was fine. I would say this is a better Western than Hateful Eight was.
This is certainly more Western.
Yeah, I think he is very much evoking the Western archetypes, and I did enjoy it. I laughed a lot. But really what this movie is a vehicle for Seth MacFarlane laughing at his own jokes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. He is a man displaced in this world. It is just Seth MacFarlane. He is not playing any kind of character in any capacity. It's just this dude who sounds and talks and moves a lot like Seth MacFarlane.
Right. The movie starts off like it's like he's a time traveler that got caught in this time frame, and he's from the present, whatever present that is, our current day, and he's just been there. He's been in this time for a while, and he's resigned to the fact that he has to be a sheep farmer because he can't do anything else.
Genuinely, I was thinking about Palm Springs, where when we're introduced to the character in that movie, he's been in the time loop for a while. And so you're like, what is weird about this guy? And then they explain it. I kind of wished they did that in this movie, because if he had just been completely displaced, where he had just been here for a while.
That's what it seems like.
I think it would have stuck the landing a little more. But where it goes astray is everybody talks like this. So everybody's dropping F-bombs.
Not everybody does. The main characters do.
More than don't do it.
Yeah.
And everybody's like saying fuck every 12 seconds. And they're just speaking in a way that contextually makes no sense. Now, again, if everybody was doing it, and it was consistent, maybe it would have been better. But there were some people that were definitely in a Western and some people that were not.
The background characters, Liam Neeson, everybody was supposed to be in this world, but all the main named actors that they're not, especially Charlize Theron, because she's the same as Seth MacFarlane's character. She's just a woman. She's got the same attitude, the same kind of foul mouth, like looking at the same things and like pointing it out. I said it in the intro.
They're shit talking the same stuff.
Exactly.
They're
and
bonding.
They literally talk about it, like bonding over hating the same things.
Yes. You can actually be closer to somebody because you hate the same things more than when you love the same things.
Right. And they both kind of disassociate themselves from the world that they live in.
Yeah,
even
this
though
place
they
sucks,
live in,
and they keep saying it.
You in 18 whatever, you cannot do that. You are not this all-powerful, all-knowing being that knows more than everybody else. You just aren't.
And there were elements of it that were funny, like talking about photography. Like at the beginning, he gets dumped, and he's looking through photos of him and his girlfriend, and they're all looking very stoic and the way one looks in photographs in those days, because you had to hold still for 30 seconds. And they talk about, I heard a guy smiled in a picture once.
What?
And no one believes it. Yeah, you would look insane. Can you believe that?
And this guy's not insane. Can you believe it?
So that's like a funny running joke, because they're playing up, these are things that were around. Like, that's a real thing. In the Old West, people were happy and smiled, and they had jovial personalities, but they were required to hold very, very still for photography. So there were elements of the movie like that. It's like, okay, you're playing with the theme. You're making fun of where you are. I get it. But then other times he just went so far that it's like, what are we watching here? I wanted him to pick a lane and stay there.
I either wanted him to go all the way, and he's the audience member. He is just the observer, just pointing everything out to the audience, to his friends, and maybe his friends don't get it, or maybe they do. Maybe it's a buddy thing where, they're just kind of pointing everything out to the audience, and they just don't do it. Like, they go full bore when he gets dumped and they go to the bar, and he literally gets up and does a Family Guy reference. He goes out of the bar and points out the dead mayor. That's literally like a cutting to a clip in Family Guy. It's like, hey, remember this thing that happened? This is just weird.
Let me
what
just
is going on here?
demonstrate to you how weird this is by pointing at something that happens to be there.
It's like stopping the show, stopping the movie, and I need to point this out to you because I think it's funny.
And again, it was funny sometimes. But then there were other times where it's like, this was made in 2014, and some of the jokes were already dated in 2014. Like, he had some lazy humor for parts of this movie.
It's also Seth MacFarlane, and he kind of falls on that a lot. He has the ability to do a lot of smart humor, but it's more often than not, he falls back into the childish stuff and the troublesome things.
Which is really frustrating because when he hits his groove, it's hilarious. Like, when he plays his strengths and he doesn't take the easy joke, he's really a funny guy.
But you can still do the easy joke if you do it in the right way.
Right.
And the thing that we were kind of talking about while we were watching it is some of these scenes just kept on going.
They kept milking it and milking it.
Yeah.
And it didn't need, or some of the scenes, they didn't even need to be there at all.
Yeah, I can think of at least a half a dozen scenes right off the top of my head that just didn't need to be there.
Or went on way too long. Like, there's a bar fight where we just have a ton of excessive violence just because we want to be really bloody and insane to demonstrate, oh, the West is a crazy place.
Right.
And, Neil Patrick Harris gets drugged and he's shitting his pants, but instead of doing that, he shits in a guy's hat.
And then he shits in another guy's hat.
Yeah, and it goes on for so long. Or, like, when he's drunk and he's just making, like, poop jokes.
And when he's drunk and goes over to Amanda Seyfried's house, and when he's stumbling away, he's like yelling at the house saying, "You're just a fucking jerk." And he stumbles, and that whole thing, him going there didn't need to happen, but the extended cut of him walking to his horse again also didn't need to be there. It's just an excuse to have, a little bit of slapstick in there.
Yeah, and again,
and there's a lot of that slapstick in there.
Some of it is good, and some of it is just like, that was just stupid.
Right, and like I said, this movie is an excuse for Seth MacFarlane to laugh at his own jokes, and he thinks that he's very funny. He just does.
He does, and that it's the problem with being. I don't know a whole lot about Seth MacFarlane. Let me preface this. I don't know if he is known as a guy who has an ego.
Betsy, the man has had like 4 different shows given to him on Fox, and he's been given the green light to make 3 of his own different movies.
Yeah, but the man himself, I don't know.
He likens himself to be the next Frank Sinatra in a way, because he puts out real music albums of himself singing.
He does, but he's weirdly talented in that venue.
That's the thing. If he wasn't so damn talented, and if people didn't actually laugh at any of this stuff, he wouldn't have that about himself.
Right. So let's talk a little bit, because we touched on it at the beginning, and I wasn't sure, but he did direct this movie.
He did, yeah.
So he did write it, he did produce it, and he directed it, and he stars in it.
Yeah.
You pointed out in the credits he had 4 assistants. Well, he was a busy man.
Yeah.
He was doing a lot of things. He had a lot of boxes to get checked while he was making this.
Sure.
And he's not terrible in this movie. Like, when he's just playing it straight. There were moments where I was like, okay, I don't despise you in this movie.
No.
I believe you as this character.
He is a bad actor.
He's a bad actor, but when he also, this is again one of the strengths, the hidden secrets about Family Guy, same way there's like hidden secrets about The Simpsons. They're really good at finding a way to, pluck at your heartstrings once in a while.
Sure.
And get to the emotional core. And so Seth MacFarlane can do that. And there are moments in this movie when he opens up just enough that I'm like, aw, like just a little. But then he goes back to being like the dude eating pot cookies for no reason whatsoever.
No reason. What was that scene? Why did that need to be there at all?
I don't know. Like, they needed a reason to bond.
I was just going to say, it's just another bonding scene for them. But you had enough of those.
They did. And again, like I was saying, when he's not playing Seth MacFarlane, when he just kind of forgets he's Seth MacFarlane
when he gets into
for
the
2
character.
seconds, He was not terrible. And oddly, I kind of liked him and Charlize together.
Yeah,
I thought
they had pretty good chemistry.
They had pretty good chemistry, which again, you wouldn't think would work.
Yeah.
But she's another one that is a really gifted actress and can get in on the joke. And she can get in on the humor.
Yes.
And when they're both being just kind of cynical, stupid people, it worked.
Yeah, it shouldn't work.
It shouldn't work. That couple should not make any sense whatsoever. This is like one of those, I'm the funny guy and I want the hottest woman to play opposite me.
Yeah.
That's what this is, and that's usually the trope. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to file this one under it works.
He also cast Amanda Seyfried to be his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I love that they called out her big eyes.
Yep.
Quit staring at me with those giant eyes. But let's just get to the meat and potatoes here. The real MVP of this movie, Trent, is the fucking composer.
The music is spot on from front to back. Even the original songs were catchy and like, I don't know, they were really good.
We should have assumed in the introduction that there were going to be original songs written by Seth MacFarlane.
We neglected to say, there's probably going to be a song in here. It's Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, there's a couple.
He has 2 original songs.
Yeah.
One about a mustache and having a mustache.
Need to have a mustache.
And then the other one is the title sequence song. Yeah. It's A Million Ways to Die in the West, sung by Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson, who, for those of you who grew up in this part of the country, in the Midwest, and you had parents or friends, or if you like this yourself.
If you listened to country music at all in the 90s.
Which we did, a lot of. Alan
of.
Jackson was one of the biggest country stars of all time. And dude definitely sounds his age.
Yeah, he sounds older now.
He does not sound like the Alan Jackson
You had to look that up. You were like, who is this?
I had to Shazam the song before we actually got into the end of the credits, and sure enough, that was him.
But yeah, the 2 original songs were funny because that is his lane.
Yes.
Seth MacFarlane can write a catchy fucking song. Those were great. But again, the composer, I'm going to give you his name because it warrants recognition.
Yeah.
Joel McNeely. And oddly, I looked him up. He did the music for Air Force One. So he's actually been on here before.
What the fuck?
But yeah, it's just that like upbeat, like let's build a barn.
It fucking
farm.
Fits so well. It is like you said, it is upbeat. It fits every single scene, and there's a lot of different songs here.
It's Americana, like think the barn dance in Oklahoma. That shit.
Yeah.
And it's great from beginning to end. Just if I will give anything undiluted praise.
Best part of the movie. I said it while we were watching it. Best part of the movie is the music.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to make sure that we gave that guy recognition, because if you're going to watch this movie for anything, you could just skip the movie and get the soundtrack.
Shit. Maybe. But Betsy, this movie is not just a vehicle for Seth MacFarlane for his own purposes. It is a cameo fest.
Oh my God.
Not only did he put, his friends in the movie, like we got Alex Borstein as, what do you call her, the madam of the whorehouse?
The brothel keeper.
Sure. She shows up for like one scene.
Just one.
Yep.
That was the only part of the movie she was in.
Yep. Sarah Silverman is one of the, let's just say, employees.
She is a whore. She works at the whorehouse.
Yes.
But she has a boyfriend. And she won't sleep with him because they're Christians.
Betsy, who's the boyfriend?
Oh, that would be Giovanni Ribisi. And as we have said many times,
Giovanni Ribisi is still a threat.
He is. And I had forgotten up until he started doing it that he's also in Ted, because there was a shot of him in this movie
dancing
with his little drink, and he's doing this weird dance. I was like, I've seen him do this before. Yeah. And I had to go through the files, and he did the exact same dance in Ted.
There's a lot. I was kind of looking up the trivia stuff about this movie before we sat down here, and that's one of the things. He did that dance in Ted.
Yes,
and there's a bunch of those like different references in this movie that if you blink, you miss it.
Right.
But
yeah, and going back to the cameos, so those are more like main characters. They're on the screen a lot.
And Sarah Silverman she's doing her sex joke stuff.
Oh yeah,
like, she's the person who's gonna talk about her asshole the entire time she's on screen.
Like completely deadpan and giggling a little bit, like in this weird. It's just her shtick. Like, it's so funny to me that she is both this person and she is Vanellope von Schweetz in Wreck-It Ralph.
In a Pixar movie.
In a Disney movie. That's a Disney one, I think. That she can play both of those kinds of characters. And
well, of course she can, but it's a matter of whether or not, Disney knows that...
It's the Bob Saget thing, like putting the squeaky clean dad character as it's a man who is not known for being squeaky clean.
But that's the thing. Seth MacFarlane is going to get the people who are willing to do this. Apparently, there was a role offered to Reese Witherspoon of all people.
What?
To be in this movie, and she turned it down and like decried the script or whatever. Like, you need to be better at offering the right people your scripts, because
this is true.
You're just not going to get people like
I've
that.
seen the comedies that Reese Witherspoon has done.
Yeah.
This is not for her.
This is not for her.
If she did it, I would have applauded her for it.
Absolutely.
Because I think she's one of those that should step out of her comfort zone more often. Like, some of her rom-coms, they're not good.
And Betsy would know.
Because you've made too many of them, and after a while, it starts getting very stale.
Betsy, the checks keep clearing. So.
I know, but why don't you just make a fucking, like, raunchy Western movie with Seth MacFarlane? That could be fun.
She's not in it for the fun.
Well, I'm just saying.
Anyway, we're not talking about Reese Witherspoon. But yeah, let's keep going with the people here. We already mentioned Liam Neeson. He shows up very little in this movie.
He's at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's like in 4 main scenes.
Yeah, that's one of my problems with the overall like script is he is not really a threat for the majority of the movie. Ribisi. Well, we knew that, but
go listen to our Avatar episode and you'll get that joke. Anyway,
if we ever make merch, that's going on a t-shirt. But yeah, he shows up at the beginning. He's sort of dastardly.
He's not even menacing at all.
He's not even like that bad a guy. Like, he shoots a dude and then he rides off looking for gold. Question mark.
And like,
it was left a little open-ended where he was going off to.
And let me just say this before we move on. I guess part of the plot is that Charlize Theron and her brother, quote unquote.
I think that's just a front. I don't think
the
that's
guy
her real brother.
The guy who's Cheddar Bob in 8 Mile. Yep. That's the only thing I can come up with. He's also in Jarhead and a bunch of other stuff, but I always know him as Cheddar Bob. Anyway, the whole thing about them moving to town and like living in the hotel was never explained.
No, they split up and the bad guy on the horse goes this way and she goes that way. And now they are separated.
What are you doing
for
there?
Reasons.
Are you just scoping out the place? Are you casing the joint?
We don't know.
We don't know. It's not explained.
No, they just needed a reason for her to be there to meet Seth MacFarlane's character.
Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, there's just these massive plot holes in that there is no plot.
There really isn't a plot.
Yeah, and I could forgive it if it was all character.
Yeah.
But it's like they started to introduce a plot and then like pulled back. And then they're like, oh, well, we're going to have this other guy who is named Foy. And it's Neil Patrick Harris as a mustachioed gentleman.
Yeah.
And he like challenges him to a showdown. Like they're going to have a gunfight.
Right.
But then when they get to the gunfight, he's like, we don't need to fight. So what was all that about? And then we don't see Neil Patrick Harris for the rest of the movie.
Yep.
It just didn't go anywhere. Like they didn't build and then it didn't have
whole
a climax.
thing it's a vessel for jokes. It's not a vessel for plot.
No.
And for like montages. There's like 3 montages and a couple of them is just him learning how to shoot.
Yep.
That's it.
Or tripping balls.
Yeah.
He trips balls a lot too.
A couple of times.
And that's an issue that I think is the core problem with this movie is there's just no plot. And like I said, it would be okay.
And that's forgivable.
If it was funny, if it worked.
If you just had wall-to-wall jokes, you just went from one thing to the next, but it just kept on going. And I remarked on it while we were watching it. It's like, oh, so this movie is just keep going, huh?
Yep.
And that was very much apparent after the escape on horseback, the horse race to the train, and he gets on the train. And it should be ending now. It should be wrapping up.
This should be the climax of the film.
Yes.
Like it's a chase,
it
and
is a completely anticlimactic ending.
Nope.
It's not there.
Then we have another scene where he meets up with the
He gets
Native
knocked
Americans.
out by the Native Americans, and they copped out by having him be the fucking nerd who learns the Apache language. And that was real Apache language being spoken there.
Okay.
Except for the Mila Kunis joke.
Yeah, he makes the Mila Kunis joke.
Uh-huh.
He's done that a few times.
Uh-huh.
And it's just sort of all over the place. And then in the meantime, somewhere along there, Christopher Lloyd shows up as Doc Brown from Back to the Future Part 3 with the DeLorean.
And that joke appears just because he can do it. The studio gave him a bunch of money. You throw it at Christopher Lloyd and see if he shows up.
And they have the music cue from Back to the Future.
Sure.
Like, I loved it, but then when I'm sitting in the moment, I loved it because I loved seeing him.
Of course.
But then I'm thinking about it going, that doesn't need to be here. And it's
fit. It doesn't fit.
It detracts from the rest of the movie.
Which is kind of, I'm calling back to what I said in the intro. They knew that they weren't going to be able to make another one of these movies. So you know what? Let's just throw everything at the wall. Let's see if we can get them. Ryan Reynolds shows up for half a second, has no lines, gets shot, and dies.
Ewan McGregor
is
in this movie. And I'd be willing to bet a lot of people missed him completely.
Uh-huh.
Because he's got a mustache and dark hair and a hat, and he's just sort of in the crowd, but he's like, one line.
He just happened to be shooting a movie in the area at the time.
Is that what it was?
They asked him to show up. He did, and then he left.
Oh my God.
Didn't stick around long enough to have a reunion with Liam Neeson from episode 1.
Oh God, I didn't even think about
that. But yeah, that was, again, all of these cameos were just distracting away. Mr. Belding shows up.
From Saved by the Bell.
For you,
he's not a cameo
much. For you, come on. It's totally.
For people like us, it's a big deal.
For the millennials in the audience, you know who Mr. Belding is. I don't know the actor's name, and neither do you. But he's the guy showing up,
shilling
his wares at the carnival, at the fair thing. And of course, he dies unceremoniously by being gored by a bull.
Yeah, a rogue bull. Just gores him at the fair because people die at the fair.
And that's a good running joke. And of course, at the very, very end, we get Jamie Foxx having his little cameo as well.
He's basically Django.
He's doing his Django thing because Django came out a couple of years before this.
Yeah. So he's got the scene right before the end of the movie and then the post-credit scene.
And the post-credit scene where the white women at.
Yeah. And it doesn't need to be there. It's funny.
That's funny. I liked that.
But it's just like, go farther. If you want this to be a cameo movie, go farther. Like, make it a fucking Muppet movie where every time you turn around, there's another celebrity there.
Right.
Do it until you want to smack somebody.
Or another death scene.
Oh, Bill Maher is in this too.
Yeah.
I forgot that one.
Yeah.
He shows up for 10 seconds.
He's the MC at the barn dance. And he's doing...
He's doing Bill Maher.
He's doing his weird, Bill Maher is a guy I used to respect, and I've lost a lot of respect for that man over the years. He just needs to go away now.
This was 8 years ago.
I know, but even still. He and Seth MacFarlane are tight because MacFarlane is always on his show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're tight. So, anyway, I don't want to talk about Bill Maher.
That's what I'm saying. If it had been... over and over and over again, like so many celebrities. Yeah. Oh, there's one more. There's a scene. Oh, there's two more. Excuse me. There's a scene where as we referenced, he goes and meets up with the Native Americans, and they give him some kind of magic juice that makes him trip and see visions. And while he's having his visions, he's basically seeing his entire life flash before his eyes.
And he hears the voice of God.
He doesn't. Well, he does hear the voice of something. It's like a talking sheep, maybe?
I'm just going to call the voice of God because it's a drug trip and that's what you do.
But it's Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
And he also remembers his graduation from school where the guest speaker was quote unquote Abraham Lincoln. And it's Gilbert Gottfried.
R.I.P. Gilbert Gottfried.
Screaming about how he's Abraham Lincoln.
And he's so rich.
And he's very rich.
Betsy, this was probably my biggest laugh of the movie.
Because it's just absurd. Like, he understands the assignment.
Yes.
He's like, I'm going to show up as, quote, Abraham Lincoln and scream at this class. And even Seth MacFarlane says, I don't think that's the real Abraham Lincoln. And it's great. It's perfect. That's what I wanted this movie to be.
Yes.
Like, just relentless.
Go all out with that shit. But they didn't. They pulled back. You had too many people who were actually in the Old West.
They had too many people who were in the West and playing it serious. Yeah. And we want this to be like an actual comedy, but in the West.
He should have taken He should have taken a page from Mel Brooks in Blazing Saddles. Everybody in that movie knew what their assignment was. All of the extra characters, all the minor characters, they knew what their job was.
Right, and they did stupid crap all throughout the movie.
Yes.
Because they said it doesn't have to make sense, and we're committing to that.
Yes.
Like, Candygram for Mongo.
Yeah.
What is that doing in here?
It's silly.
At
It's supposed to be silly.
The end of the movie, the French mistake, we have a big musical on the back lot of MGM or some crap.
Yeah, you just keep on going. Keep pushing that envelope because, again, you're not going to get to make another one of these.
No, and it shouldn't work, but that is the stuff everybody loves about Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
Versus this one, where it's like, what did you love about this?
He kind of tried to make a Western. By the end of the movie, he tried to make a Western.
Yeah.
With a very anticlimactic ending of him, like, shooting the bad guy and having the bad guy die of poisoning.
And he's, like, giving him a big speech of how he did it, but he's already dead. Yeah. So we cut him short.
And you know what? That joke right there is like a Taika Waititi joke. Where it's
Doug's dead.
Yeah, it's too smart for its own good.
Yeah. Oh, Meek's dead. I stepped on him, but I felt bad, so I've been carrying him around all day. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff. And he tries it, but it doesn't go far enough. I think
it's a mess. It's a mess.
That is my core problem with this is he didn't know what kind of movie he wanted to make, and if they had shaved off about 20 minutes and they had maybe revised the script one last time.
Yeah. Tighten it up, get rid of some of the excess scenes, and maybe milk some of your better scenes a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like, they hopped around a lot.
They did. For no reason.
You also had, like, 3 gunfights.
And you didn't really have a villain. Like, is Liam Neeson the villain? Because he's only in the beginning and the end.
Right.
Is Neil Patrick Harris the villain? Because he's only in the middle.
Yep.
Like, make one of them the antagonist throughout the piece. Mm-hmm. Like, this wasn't like when we started this journey with the man who shot Liberty Valance. Liberty Valance is a presence who is known, and even when he's not on screen, everybody's talking about him.
Yes.
People barely mention Liam Neeson in this movie. Mm-hmm. They barely mention that character. He's supposed to be the biggest menace and the best gunfighter in this region, and nobody's talking about him.
And at the very end,
he's not a presence.
They kind of like brush off, oh, I guess there's maybe a reward for, him dead or alive, because it's the Old West and there are rewards for people like that.
And he collects the reward and buys a bunch more sheep. And he's a terrible sheep farmer.
Yep.
Cool.
Sure. You couldn't have taken that joke elsewhere. You couldn't have had him buy something else.
Yeah. He gets the girl. Wee.
Oh, Betsy, what else? What else do you got? Any other moments here we want to talk about before we get out of here?
Well, I would be remiss to not mention one little moment that happens. That I will just say to represent our super fan. There's a moment where we are getting to know Anna, Charlize Theron's character.
Yeah.
And she says, oh, well, we came out from Kansas City. And Albert, Seth MacFarlane's character, says, oh, Kansas. I love Kansas. And she says, no, actually, it's in Missouri. Because our superfan has many times explained to me she is from Kansas City, but the Missouri side, not the Kansas side.
That's right.
This is very much a sticking point. When you are from that city, it matters which side you are from. And yes, hi, Stephanie.
Indeed. I had a couple more. The joke about at the beginning he's drinking, and they say it's a very they just tossed off line where they say you shouldn't drink and horse.
Yeah.
As in horse, as in a verb.
And meanwhile, in that scene, there's an ad painted on the side of a building for something containing cocaine.
For something cocaine, yeah. Yeah. Well, and also with like the elixirs thing. It's like there's pieces of shirt in here.
Flannel.
Red flannel.
Red flannel. Just little pieces.
Pieces of shirt.
Yeah, in his miracle elixir. The other moment that this one I found really funny, because again, there were these moments where he went to the place where he's making fun of the Old West, and it worked. So they're at the fair, and Charlize challenges Neil Patrick Harris's character. Mm-hmm. She says, if I can shoot all of these things in this carnival game on his behalf, you have to give him $1. And everybody's like, a whole $1?
I've never seen $1 before.
Show us the $1. And then of course she does it. Uh-huh. She wins, and Neil Patrick Harris produces this just enormous dollar bill, and the crowd goes absolutely, they're in awe, and they take their hats off. Oh, just take your hat off, son. It's $1. So that's funny, because contextually, that was a lot of money.
Especially for a bet like that.
But there weren't enough of those jokes in this movie, and I wish there had been.
Yeah, like
my whole attitude about this is I wish this was something else. I wish this was more. I wish this was less.
Yeah. And we talked about a lot of the Family Guy types of jokes where at the beginning when they're kind of walking down the street after they were broken up and they had he went out drinking, it's the next morning, they have the joke about the big ice block comes to town because, oh, that's a big thing because it only comes every so often.
The shipment is here.
Right. And you know what's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of accident.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some huge reaction from the people. And of course, yes, that's what happens. And the ice block falls on somebody and crushes them to death. And they make jokes about it later about, oh yeah, we're going to be using that in whatever food that comes later.
We're still going to use that ice.
We're still going to use that ice? What? And it's him just reacting to things that nobody else is reacting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not from the Old West while everybody else is.
But then as the movie rolls along, he becomes more of the West. That's why I think if you went further in his backstory and had him be that fish out of water where he is from the present or whatever.
Or even if he had just been some uppity city boy.
Right, if he
some
came
city
from
slicker,
the east. Right.
Who came to do this, and he's a terrible sheep farmer.
If they did it like Liberty Valance, where he's from out of town, yeah. But again, they should have gone further and did more.
Underdeveloped characters.
It could have been really, really good, Betsy.
There's a good backbone here.
Yes.
It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Really, truly, I see the glimmers of what could have been brilliant.
Yeah. But it ain't there.
But it's not there.
Yeah.
Which is why this has 37% or something on Rotten Tomatoes.
And I said it in the intro. Apparently this movie did not bomb. It made double what its budget was.
Well, that's
it made money.
He has enough fans.
Yeah.
And the trailer was edited well enough to give you the jokes and to what you were going in for,
Yeah.
people showed up. We didn't. We waited 8 years.
Nope. All right. So that's all I got to say about this one, Betsy. Let's read an email, shall we?
Sure, Trent.
And hey, look at that. It's an email from our superfan, Stephanie.
Amazing.
About our last Western movie, The Hateful Eight. She says, I love this one. I'm a big Tarantino fan, and this is such a good one. I have seen the extended version, and although it breaks up into sections, making it easier to watch over multiple days, I don't think it really adds to the story. So we talked about it a little bit. There is, quote-unquote, an extended version of that movie on Netflix.
It's like a TV show
and
format.
it's broken up into pieces.
Yep.
It's
Episodes.
like it's a mini-series type of thing. Like, it's maybe adding a little bit of context to some things, maybe adding another story here and there, but it's not enough to make it a different thing. Mm-mm. So, she says, Channing Tatum in this really takes me out of it. He isn't bad, but his presence is very jarring. Other than that, the cast is phenomenal. Love, Tim Roth.
He's one of those really great actors that is underutilized.
I wish people have, over the years, used him in more things.
Yeah,
because
you can rely on Tarantino, but that doesn't give you a whole career.
He had his own Fox show for a while.
That's right, he did.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody watched it, though. That's
no,
the
he was
problem.
also in that Incredible Hulk movie we watched. That's not very good, but he's going to be on She-Hulk.
Yeah, we mentioned that. But yeah, I think, Channing Tatum as an actor in that movie doesn't fit. Like you said, I agree with you. It's jarring to have this pretty boy in this Western movie where he doesn't really fit with any of the other actors in here, and he's much younger than everybody else too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't get that.
He stands out in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have made a different choice there, and it would have fit better. It doesn't take me out of it.
I think there are worse choices he could have made, though.
Sure. And I think for what he did...
He likes to push the envelope with his casting, as we touched on in the episode.
Yeah.
There are a lot worse people he could have picked.
Of course. She says, regardless of how you feel about Tarantino's content, his camera work is fantastic. Personally, I enjoy most aspects of his work. Yes, it is not just the writing or the content or the story. It is his love of film. We talked about it in the episode. Like, they used... I saw this in one of the extras that I saw that I watched after the episode. They used these lenses for this 70mm thing. They used the lenses from a movie back in the 60s. It was like a Laurence Olivier movie, one of those big epics that they used the old 70mm film for. And it's just him and his cinematographers just geeking out over the old style of making movies.
He has consumed tens of thousands of hours of film in a way that nobody else on planet Earth probably has.
Yeah.
That is at least making movies, and he can translate that. He can just access that file and say, this is what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
And he does it. So yeah, absolutely, that is 100% gonna be his strongest suit with how a movie looks.
Yeah. I think more than anything, he obsesses over how his movies look.
He knows exactly what he wants, and he gets it.
Yeah. To finish this up, she says, this movie is Tarantino meets Agatha Christie set in a Western. I love it. Love you guys from Superfan Stephanie. And P.S., I am right there with you and Mitch on watching every movie and TV show in segments because of kids and life.
There you go.
Yeah. We did it again. We started a movie just at dinner today.
We got through 3 minutes.
We got through 3 minutes. We didn't even get through the intro credits, and I got a phone call, and then, oops, I guess we're going to continue that later.
You took your phone call. I kept eating, and then it was like,
Right.
well, I'm going to go. I'm done eating now, so bye.
Yeah. And then we came downstairs and started this podcast. Whee!
How many movies can we cram into a day? I don't know. How many minutes do you want to commit to each movie?
I don't know. Well, it's about 10 o'clock at night when we're recording this, so hey.
Maybe not anymore tonight.
All right, Betsy, I want to thank you for being my co-host through all of these Western Wednesday movies.
Oh, thank you, Trent.
Because
This has been an adventure.
Because, of course, I had to be the one to host all of the Westerns, and you've hosted, I think, all of the Nick Cage ones. Up until the next one.
It's kind of how it worked out for
You also saw those
series
too. Yeah, it's just how it works out. But, yeah, Westerns are, like, let's just finish this up here by saying Westerns are a genre of film that I have an appreciation for, and I wanted to really get into it at least a little bit with those first couple of ones.
We easily could do this many more times.
Yes,
There's
and
so many
will.
we talked about covering
Yep.
that we're not going to share because we still might do those.
We eventually will do another Western Wednesday series. I promise you. I promise you.
It'll be back someday.
Yes.
Just not like right away. We gotta finish the Nick Cage series.
Yeah, we're kind of turning some of these series into annual events because we did the Keanu-thon almost a year to the day.
Just sort of worked out that way.
That we started the Cage-a-thon.
It's a good summer activity. Yeah. They make good summer movies, those two men.
Yeah. So we hope that you enjoyed this little journey into the past and the present, I guess. Of this genre of film. Again, we will revisit it sometime in the future. But until then, you can email us your thoughts about this genre of film, the movies that we have covered, or give us some suggestions on some movies you want us to cover in the next Western Wednesday series.
There's many, many, many to choose from, guys. We had to cut so many because we wanted to just keep it to 4.
Yes.
This could be all we do. For Western Wednesday. We could do Western Wednesdays forever and never run out of content.
Yes. Anyway.
But we're not doing that.
Yes. Email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. That's neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can follow us on the Twitter machine, neverseenit_pod. You can support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description and throwing us a buck on Anchor. We also have a couple of other of the social media sites. Facebook and Instagram, the name there is NeverSeenItPod1. Betsy's on there daily, throwing up some interesting facts and figures and pictures and all sorts of shit. But you can use all that stuff to share us with your friends, post the episodes on your wall, send the episodes to your friends, rate us on the iTunes and I think Spotify
or
and
just send
Google.
us a message.
Send us a message. You can comment on our stuff. All that stuff. It helps spread the word at the very least. But anyway, that's the end of Western Wednesday for now. This has been Never Seen It. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Bye.